You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now it's 7. A few of Pittsburgh's leaders and residents came together to discuss the future of the city's farmers market.
Also, multiple agencies respond to a fire that engulfed a church in Nevada.
And we've got scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area today. The good news is no severe weather out there. We'll talk about those storms and what you can expect for your day today coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. on this Monday morning. And Elise has not been here for me to actually point this out, but nearly every single day we hit that same phrase at the exact same time, 7 o'clock and 40 seconds.
What do you mean that I haven't been here for you to point it out?
I haven't pointed that out yet.
Oh.
To you.
Look, I've been here.
You've been here, but I have not, I've not taken time out of your day. Yeah, well, the clock's right there. It's très bizarre, though.
Oh,
like every single time, no matter what we say to start the show, we always hit that 7-minute and 40-second mark.
How about that?
Yeah.
There you go.
The more you know.
There you go. Well, community and board members gathered at Lincoln Center in Pittsburgh to discuss the future of the city's farmers market.
KOAM's Mitch Adams has the details.
I started 2 weeks ago, and I immediately wanted to get people together to give their input because, they make up the market, not the city.
The future of the Pittsburgh Farmers Market was discussed during a meeting at Lincoln Center in Pittsburgh. Keller Irwin, the newly appointed manager of the Farmers Market, told us about his history with the market and why it's important for the city.
The first time I worked the market, just as a cover, I wasn't too enthusiastic. But then I got there and realized just kind of the community that's behind it. And I think that plays a large part. It's a place for people to come and talk and meet people and make friends, have some nice music, and then also pick up products where you can't get at, Walmart's, where our, homegrown, homemade, stuff made with love. So.
Some of the topics discussed at the meeting were sponsorships, grant funding, marketing strategies, and ways to keep customers and vendors alike happy. Irwin also explained his reasoning for undertaking responsibility for the farmers market and its processes.
Just the community aspect of it. I've lived here my whole life. I'll be here until I graduate at least. And I've been working at Parks and Rec for customer service for over a year and just had seen kind of some failures in the market, and the opportunity to come in here and, when you go there on a Saturday morning, you see the ton of smiling faces and people enjoying the products that they find, and, it's really a great time.
According to the board, the main goal is to revitalize the market, bring in new customers, and build relationships with local businesses. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Well, this farmers market season will last until late October, occurring every Saturday from 8 a.m. to noon.
Certainly, farmers markets are a very important part of just about any community, so glad to see them keep working on all of that.
Absolutely, great to see.
And some rain also beneficial to the farmers in our area. And we're starting to get at least a little more here lately. We had a bit of a dry spell. We were starting to see some drought conditions build in, but things have improved a little bit. And we've got a few more showers and storms to start your Monday out there on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, following a path from northwest to southeast. As a little line of showers and storms continuing to move through the area. Nothing strong, nothing severe, but take a look. We've had a slight uptick in lightning around Monette and Mount Vernon, so do keep that in mind. Lightning of course, doesn't matter if the storm is strong or severe. If there's lightning strikes, they're dangerous. They can be deadly. So if you're heading out this morning, just be aware of the lightning. Don't stand outside too long. Don't go hug a tree today. You can do that later once the skies clear out. But we've got some heavier rain stretching from around Mount Vernon, so it's west of Mount Vernon, east of Monette, northeast of Cassville. A nice batch of rain into northeastern, or really the eastern portion of Jasper County, with some showers into Carthage. Jasper getting in on the action, as well as Lamar, Nevada, Fort Scott, still some showers, and then take a look back to the north and east. Sorry, my goodness, I'm all backwards today. The north and west, we've got additional showers and storms still developing, just kind of redeveloping all along this line, still pushing off to the south and east. Now, we're not anticipating anything strong or severe, but some of these redeveloping showers and storms may stick with us through our morning hours, but by noon, the last of the showers should be either dying or moving on out of here, and skies will begin to clear as we head later into today. We'll have an easterly breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour, and for most of us, temperatures below normal. Maybe not by much, but they're still expected to be below normal. Not a bad start. 71 Joplin, 68 in Pittsburgh, and around the area, average lows the upper 60s. We've got upper 60s and low 70s, so we're not too far off from normal as we get the day started on this Monday. It's Monday. So again, isolated to widely scattered showers and storms through the morning. Most of us will be dry, but there will still be some along that path. And then by about noon, the last of those are out of here. Partly cloudy skies. We clear out into the afternoon, and our highs today for most of us mid to upper 80s. We're going to remain below normal for at least the next few days before the summer heat makes a return. We'll go over those details with you in the full forecast, and that's coming up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. We'll check in with you soon. Well, fire crews from multiple stations worked overnight Saturday as a church in Nevada went up in flames. Around 2:23 Saturday morning, fire crews were alerted to the incident. On arrival, crews observed smoke and flames at First Christian Church on Austin Boulevard and Washington Avenue. Calls for assistance went out, and according to Nevada Fire Chief Taylor McClintock, 8 different departments and almost 70 firefighters were on scene. The fire was brought under control at 6:30 a.m. and the Missouri State Fire Marshal, ATF, and Nevada Police determined the cause was to be an incendiary fire. Further details of the fire are still being investigated. Friday night storms brought multiple reports of damage and power outage throughout our area. 31,000 residents in Benton County were said to be without power. That number has since gone down. Quapaw Public Schools has reported on Facebook that they will be delaying the start of school until August 26th due to damage. Professional development days and the district's open house have also been scheduled. Well, the Kansas City University School of Dentistry held its white coat ceremony this weekend. KOAM's Mitch Adams has the story.
What are the odds of that happening? And I remember being so happy and relieved that I could go through this journey and process in medicine with Sierra, love of my life.
Kansas City University School of Dentistry presented the class of 2028 with their white coats at the Joplin High School Performing Arts Center. Over 70 men and women were congratulated for their accomplishments, with the white coat ceremony marking the first step in their professional careers. Some of these students, like Sierra Smith and Garrett Reimer, formed everlasting bonds through their studies.
When we were touring apartments here, when we were looking for apartments in Joplin, I proposed to her at the Grand Falls waterfall here on the tour. I tricked her, got her to take a picture like this, and then she got so excited she forgot to take pictures.
But the love doesn't end with Garrett and Sierra. Casey and Michael Mann met in college in Alabama, but moved to the middle of the country to go to medical and dental school at KCU.
You know, we put our marriage before our career, and so by doing that and putting God first, we're able to really have a strong foundation.
Linda Neeson, the founding dean at the KCU College of Dental Medicine, told us that students being able to deeply connect with each other during school is very positive.
One student is in the medical school, the other student's in the dental school, and they both are going through very difficult health professional programs. So I think it's wonderful that they can undertake these careers in the same school and rely on each other when times get tough.
The ceremony marks the beginning of a long career for these medical students, and with the help of bonds made through passion, new journeys begin for our future healthcare providers. Reporting in Joplin, Missouri, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
To find more information about the white coat ceremony, you can visit our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, Lori Horton returns to the studio with her recipe for fruit cocktail cake. Welcome back. We've got Lori Horton with us this morning, and she's showing us how to make a fruit cocktail cake. Now we've made our cake batter.
We've got our cake batter ready. That was super simple. It was just the full can of fruit cocktail with a cup of flour that we sifted.
Yes.
And that cup of sugar. Added a little dash of salt to, believe it or not, kind of cut a little bit of that super sweetness to it.
There,
a little bit. And we added a little bit of pecans and some sweetened coconut. So that just, kind of took it up that extra notch. You know how I do. Now, if your expert baker this morning had brought an extra cake pan, we would pour this batter into an 8x8 cake pan that we sprayed generously with some baking spray, or, take some butter and coat that. You don't need to flour it. You just want to grease it. Just kind of makes that release a little bit easier, because this is a sticky, gooey cake. So once we have that all mixed up, and you'll see it's a really nice, thick, but still it's got a lot of fruit and that juice in it batter. It's not going to rise a whole lot, so don't worry about the size of your pan. That's pretty much where the batter goes. That's where it stays. Baked it at 350 for about 40 to 45 minutes. It's going to come out nice and golden around those edges. So that's the most important thing to watch for. This is not a cake you can take your toothpick and test it to come out clean. It's not going to work. So it's going to stay really gooey and kind of thick in the middle.
Look for those edges to
Look for those edges. And then you'll really see, after it comes out for just a couple minutes, it separates nicely. It kind of shrinks in a little bit on the pan as it cools. So you can serve it just like that. It's absolutely delicious, warm out of the oven. Just let it set for 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe put that scoop of ice cream with it, something like that. But as we usually do, we're going to have to take it up like one more notch. So we're going to make some homemade whipped cream to put on the top. Okay. This is also really, really simple. Not a lot of ingredients, and just a couple minutes of time of whipping up this whipped cream. Now you can use heavy whipped cream, or actually just cream, heavy cream, and that actually has a little bit higher fat content, and it holds up a little bit longer. So if you're going to be serving this right away, and all you have is the heavy whipping cream, perfectly fine.
Does either one take longer to whip up, or is it just about the same?
No, it's actually about the same. It's really kind of more about how long it holds. So the whipping cream will kind of start to lose its air over time a little bit faster than the heavy cream, because it's just got a little bit less fat in it. So we're going to start with about a cup of that. We want to make sure it's nice and cold right out of the fridge. And you can actually make this with powdered sugar or granulated sugar, and you'll see recipes with both. And I think it's generally comes down to personal preference, or maybe sometimes what you have on hand, because I don't notice a huge difference at the end of the day.
Oh, really?
As far as taste with either one.
Because I would think that maybe one would be more like leaning on a frosting, or like one would be even a meringue or something like that.
It really doesn't make a huge difference, and you'd think it'd maybe have a little grittier texture to a smoother texture with the powdered sugar. Really is not a huge difference. That granulated sugar dissolves nicely as you whip it up, so it doesn't really make a big difference there, and the sweetness factor on it is really about the same. So I'm just adding to this about 1/2 of a cup of powdered sugar, and then just to give it a little bit of some type of a flavor besides just that sugar, we're going to come back again with our really good vanilla and add about 1 teaspoon, and then when we come back, we'll start to whip that up and serve it.
Sounds like a plan. Stick around. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. And Lori is just showing us the last few steps to her cocktail cake. So what's left?
So what's left is just making a really nice creamy topping to go with that. So again, this is a really rich, very sweet dessert. So it is really good, warm, fresh out of that oven. But if you go ahead and let it cool, you can add some homemade whipped cream to the top. So all I've done while we were in our quick break was I started a little bit with whipping up our heavy whipping cream, a little powdered sugar and vanilla. So it's still pretty liquid. This has just had a few seconds on the mixer. So I'm going to go ahead and make a little bit of noise here. It doesn't take very long to go ahead and thicken this up. What we want to get to is a stiff peaks form. So it takes about a minute to a minute and a half. And a good hand mixer, this is not something you have to get out all the big equipment for, anything like that. It's going to come together pretty quickly. So we'll make just a few more seconds here. You can already see just in that few extra ones, it's starting to really kind of form and stiffen up for us. You want to make sure you stop about halfway through and scrape your bowl a little bit. Get all of those dry little bits of, whether it's granulated or powdered sugar, either way. Get those edges really mixed in. And don't overbeat it, because you actually can curdle the whipping cream. So you want to go about so far. And when you have those nice stiff peaks that form off of your beaters, it's really hard to see that bright white under the studio lights, I know. But you'll get those nice stiff peaks start to form pretty quickly. We're going to set that down so we don't make too much of a mess. And it comes together. So at that point, you are really set to make some nice little scoops. You can either take this into some little parfait cups. The nice part by adding those couple extra ingredients and the rest of that can of fruit cocktail is this bakes up a little more solid than when you just do the cup of cocktail, the cup of flour, and the cup of sugar. So it holds together a little bit nicer, makes it a little bit easier to serve, quite honestly. If you do just the cup, you'll want to maybe serve it in a little bowl with a spoon. Whereas this, you can see it's a nice sturdy, and just a good little dollop of that whipped cream on the side. You can come back with this and actually, you know, top your whole cake with it. If you want to get very fancy when you come to serve it, you can spread this all over the top, maybe add some toasted coconut and extra pecans on there. Again, it's good to have that little bit of crunch with it.
Even too.
Absolutely, some extra cherry pieces on top. Exactly, just whatever is your favorite part of it, add those extra bits to it. So if you want to have a quick little sample of that, I'm telling you, it's breakfast that will keep you going all morning long. But again, it's as simple as you want it to be with just those 3 ingredients, or you can really kind of bring it up to that next level. It's perfect for an outdoor or something because it doesn't have to stay refrigerated. You can serve it without that whipped cream, and it's easy to go.
You're going to want the whipped cream, by the way. That's
you really do. It's so good with it. It's a perfect combination. Absolutely.
Well, thank you again, as always, for being with us this morning and sharing another delicious recipe. Of course, I have this recipe on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Later on this morning, I'm dealing with the whipped cream right now.
I'm so sorry.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:24 now on this Monday morning. We still got a few scattered showers and some rumbles of thunder continuing across the area this morning. Nothing strong, nothing severe, and these will still hang out with us for a little while longer before they begin to clear out. Let's start down the southwest Missouri side. So Carthage, Mount Vernon, Monette, just to the northeast of Cassville, still dealing with some moderate rainfall out there. Maybe a few rumbles of thunder here and there. Again, nothing strong, nothing severe, and that is good news, especially after what we had come through last Friday. Heading off to the north and west, so west of Burlington, and my goodness, I've been truly backwards all morning. East of Burlington, west of Garnett, some heavier rain, so on 59 and 169, and then back north of Burlington and northwest of Key West out there, still some additional showers and storms. Fort Scott, you're drying out. Nevada, you've got some rain. Sheldon as well. Lamar, you got a little pause. You got more showers on the way. Jasper, still dealing with some moderate rainfall out there. Barton County been getting a good amount of rain through the morning hours, but we are starting to see more and more folks become dry, because even though we still have these showers out there and we still have the development taking place back to the north and west, we're starting to see where they're a lot more spotty. They're not as big in coverage, and even the ones back to our north and west aren't all that intense or as widespread as they initially were, but they will continue this course, and they will very likely continue through the first half of our Monday, and by about noon or so, the last of these showers will have either moved out or be in that dying process where they just kind of fizzle out. Once we get past that, skies will begin to clear across the region, and temperatures are going to be warm, but they will be below normal. We'll have an easterly wind at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow, we're going to have a partly cloudy start to the day. Clouds increasing in the morning in the first half of the day. Then as we move later into the afternoon and evening, the skies clear back out again. Temperatures, though, once again below normal for our Tuesday. No rain to show either as we head into Wednesday at this point. And other side of some clouds here and there, we're looking at mostly clear skies and temperatures once again below normal. Take a look at noon on Wednesday. Might be in the low to mid 70s, and once again back into the 80s out there. Our average highs are around 90 degrees, so not bad. Interesting, nice looking view from our camera at 7th and Rangeline. It is mostly cloudy, but that blend of the clouds, we've got some clearing taking place to the west, just making for an interesting reverse sunrise. If it was sunset time, it'd be a lot more pretty colors off to the west there, but you know, still not bad. 71, mostly cloudy in Joplin, east-northeast breeze at about 7. Temperatures this morning relatively close to normal. We should be about 69 across the area, and we've got upper 60s and low 70s, so still pretty decent start to the day, already getting in on that easterly breeze. Again, isolated, widely scattered storms continuing through the morning, but the later into the morning we go, the fewer showers we begin to see. The more of us will be dry, the more of us will be partly cloudy, but some isolated stray showers will still be possible through about noon. We'll be pushing close to 80 by 11 o'clock. Again, our highs today below normal, but warm, upper 80s, sunny skies as we head later into the afternoon with the decreasing clouds. Into the evening, clear skies continue down to the mid 70s by 10, mostly clear overnight, low 60s. Clouds though start to gradually increase toward tomorrow morning for a partly cloudy day for the first portion of our Tuesday. Again, we're still below normal, warm but below normal, mid-upper 80s heading into Thursday. Unfortunately, the below normal weather does come to an end. We go back into the low to mid 90s heading into the weekend and the next work week. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. I'm Elise Snowy. Joplin schools held a bus camp Saturday morning in preparation for the upcoming school year. Kids aged kindergarten through first grade were invited to learn about bus safety and bus stop rules. Attendees were also given a complimentary ride to get more comfortable with the school bus.
We definitely need traffic stopping when they see those stop signs out on the sides of buses. We want our kids to be looking both ways and looking at the driver for the driver's signal before they cross the street. And we want to make sure we stay out of the danger zones, which are 10 feet all the way around the bus.
Over 10 vendors from area organizations were also present at the event. Northeastern Oklahoma A&M welcomed over 600 students to their living facilities Saturday. Move-in took place from noon to 4 p.m., followed by a business and community fair in the evening. Classes at NEO are scheduled to start today.
It is a very welcoming hometown feel. I love that everyone knows everyone and everyone's watching out for you and wants you to succeed.
NEO has a variety of events scheduled for this upcoming Welcome Week, with students encouraged to participate and explore their new campus. Well, incoming students to Missouri Southern State University were able to pick what organizations they wanted to join. The Campus Craze event allowed students to choose between 50 different campus organizations, ranging from Greek life, pottery, esports, and much more.
I think it's so important for students to kind of find a place where they can belong. It just makes their college experience that much more meaningful, whether they're from around the area or came from states away to live in our dorms. Finding a club or organization is just going to impact their college experience, and I just love seeing students have fun and make those good connections.
MSSU has found that students who participate in their clubs are more likely to graduate. Now let's check in with Chris for a look at the forecast.
We'll have some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area this morning, still following the same path from northwest to southeast across the region. And there's one lightning strike. There's been some here and there as the activity flares up and then it starts to weaken back down again. Nothing strong, nothing severe to have to contend with, but some heavier rain now through Mount Vernon, Monette, just to the east of Cassville, east of Carthage. Jasper finally getting a little break from some of the rain this morning. But if you're on I-44 from mile marker 18 toward the 96 exit coming out of Springfield, just be prepared for some moderate to heavy rain. Still raining in Lamar, some decent rain there, and that stretches into parts of Vernon County. Light showers around Nevada. Fort Scott, you've got some heavier rain to your southwest, and this stretches back to the north and west toward Garnett and Burlington and points north. Again, nothing strong, nothing severe. Activity continues to kind of recycle on the far northwestern edge of this line, but you can also see where as it recycles, it's not nearly as widespread as it was, and the rain not nearly as heavy as it was, but we'll still deal with some of these showers and thunderstorms through the morning hours. They should be dying or moving out by by about noon, and they're going to be considerably more isolated as the morning progresses. They're going to start to fizzle out, and we'll see fewer showers across the area, but a few still hanging on out there through the morning. As we head into the afternoon, skies will be clearing. We'll have an east breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour, and temperatures warm but below normal. 71 in Joplin, 68 in Pittsburgh. The highway starting to dry out down there just south of Pittsburgh at Kansas Crossing. Our temperatures this morning not too far from normal, upper 60s and low 70s, so a fairly good start to the day temperature-wise. So again, isolated and widely scattered showers through the morning, chances steadily decreasing as we get closer to noon. Partly cloudy by noon. As we head into the afternoon, temperatures warming up, upper 80s with sunny skies. We're going to remain below normal for the next couple of days, and then things will heat back up. We'll look at those details in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, as the school year begins, many schools are making an effort to remind students and parents of the cell phone policies that are in place. KOAM's Anthony Saviello spoke with both the Carthage and Lamar school districts about what their expectations are when it comes to cell phones.
At the K through 8 level, it's a don't have it out, don't let it be seen. We don't have a policy that goes so far as, we're not going to be searching students for cell phones, but listen, we don't want to see it. At the high school level, we give our teachers the ability to understand what that, to develop what that rule is for their own classroom.
Overall, though, the policies are pretty well aligned with the understanding that we do not want devices being a distraction in the classroom. So anything we can do to help student engagement in the classroom and minimize those distractions, that's our overall goal as a district.
As far as using computers in the classroom, we typically try not to use cell phones where computers can be used. But we do have classrooms where, classes where students will record videos for, a presentation or a project. So it's, the computer doesn't always replace the cell phone one-to-one. So
parents are very supportive. As a district, we continue to encourage parents to educate their kids on appropriate cell phone use and everything as well. In our district, we have a lot of kids that walk to and from school. They're in sports after schools, or they're in other activities and clubs. That parents do like them to have a cell phone so that way they can call home, which completely is understandable.
In all of the information that we give our parents, they know when the times are that students can have the phones out. They understand that it's at teacher's directive. Those rules should be stated at the beginning of the year. We don't want our teachers to have policy one day that switches the next day, that goes back the following day. So it should be consistent, and it's hopefully through that consistency that our students and our parents know when it's practical to use phones and when it's not.
Now to look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. One man is lending a helping hand to those who have been incarcerated, one cup of coffee at a time. In Consumer Watch this morning, our citizens are dying younger than some other nations like us. That's according to a new study. The study says Americans have shorter life expectancies than in Canada, Ireland, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. The study says America's younger people die at higher rates from preventable causes like car accidents and drug overdoses, while our midlife death rates were high from drug and alcohol and cardiovascular diseases. Well, the middle class is dealing with a debt bomb. Fox Business correspondent Jerry Willis tallied up the debt many young Americans are facing.
Americans starting their adult lives are facing more than $500,000 in debt to buy items previous generations took for granted. The median price of a home at an all-time high of $426,900, even as the inventory for homes remains tight. Meanwhile, rising prices for cars and trucks is causing consumers to lengthen the term of their loans to 84 months, longer than the vehicle may last. Education debt is another looming issue for many, and putting a ring on it sets the average couple back $30,000. It's no wonder that a Bankrate survey found that Americans believe they need $186,000 a year to live comfortably. That's more than double the average income earned by Americans of $79,000. There's increasing evidence that this burgeoning debt is causing some Americans to tighten their purse strings. Real retail sales peaked about 3 years ago, about the time Americans were spending their government pandemic bonuses. That money, though, is long gone, and now many of us are facing a debt hangover as delinquencies rise. Personal finance expert Jade Warshaw and her husband decided enough is enough and paid off $460,000 in personal debt over 7 years.
The slogan that most Americans need to embrace is, when it comes to debt, just say no. For most Americans, debt is the problem, and you can't solve a problem while simultaneously creating it.
Jade says focus is the key to paying off debt, and boosting your income doesn't hurt either. In New York, Jerry Willis, Fox Business.
And those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 7:44 on this Monday morning. Skywatch Storm Tracker still showing those scattered showers and a few thunderstorms out there this morning. Nothing strong, nothing severe. That's the way it's going to remain, but we're going to deal with these for at least the next few hours as they gradually begin to dissipate and move out of the area. So just to the west of Cassville, Monette, Mount Vernon, east of Carthage, getting some of the heavier showers, and it is east of Cassville. I've been doing that all morning. I've been backwards all morning long, and I do not know why. Got a heavier shower on 69 south of Fort Scott, and it stretches back up along 54, 59 northeast of Iola, southwest of Garnett, and another heavier rain shower around Key West moving into Burlington as well. And we head back down around Lamar, still dealing with some moderate to heavy rainfall. So again, I-49 from Jasper to Sheldon, even up as far north as Nevada, still dealing with rain, but that heavier rain right around Lamar out there. Jasper getting some rain. Greenfield, this is going to continue to push southeast. You will eventually be up next for some additional rounds of rain. So all of this, as you can see, continues to even back build and redevelop just kind of over and over, training over these same spots, running this same southeasterly course. And that's why these storms are expected to, and showers are expected to last at least through the morning hours, and they will continue until about noon. And we're looking at noon as the last of these either on their way out or in the state of falling apart. So as we end the afternoon, we get past noon, skies will begin to clear. We're going to be looking pretty good out there. We'll have an easterly breeze for most of us, and temperatures warm but below normal. Tuesday, we'll see the clouds begin to increase in the morning. We'll go partly cloudy through the first portion of our day, and then similar to today, once we get into the afternoon and evening hours, the skies will clear, and we'll still hold on to those easterly winds as we head into Tuesday night and into Wednesday. And we'll start the day again with mostly clear skies and maybe a few clouds here and there through the day. Temperatures around the noon hour, though, a little cooler. Looks to be low to mid 70s by noon on Wednesday. Temperatures will still warm up and they will still be below average, but that trend will come to an end. Live look from our camera, 7th and Range Line. We've got the cloud cover because we've got rain near Joplin, but not in the city. So it's mostly cloudy, 71. East-northeast breeze at 7. Temperatures this morning not too far off of our average lows, gradually warming up, but very slowly. Not much change over the last, say, hour or so, as we still got upper 60s and low 70s. As we push on through the morning again, we'll have these scattered storms, that same path that they've been following from northwest to southeast. They'll continue to follow, and they may branch out a little further to the east or a little further to the west in that path as they continue, but most of us will remain dry as we have through the morning, and as we again get later into the morning, we'll start to see these showers and storms dissipating and moving out of the area. So most of us again dry, partly cloudy, be close to 80 by 11 o'clock. Highs today looking to be mid to upper 80s, so at or even in some cases slightly below normal, and skies will be clearing as we head into the afternoon. Going into this evening, clear skies, mid-70s by 10, mostly clear skies overnight, low 60s, and again, clouds will increase a bit towards sunrise tomorrow, giving us a partly cloudy start to the day. Below normal temperatures hang on through Thursday as we go mid-upper 80s, so that's still warm. It's hot, it's 89 on Thursday, but still below normal. And then it comes to an end as we go back in the low to mid-90s heading into the weekend and the next work week. So not crazy heat like we've seen, but still uncomfortable to say the least. That is a check of your forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
One Colorado man is proving that your past doesn't define your future. After spending time in jail, he took on the corporate world.
But then he decided to give it all up and has opened a coffee shop with the goal of helping other formerly incarcerated people find success in society.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Opening a new business
I'm good.
requires a lot of energy.
That's true.
So it's a good thing Dan Clem has access to a bunch of it.
Right now I'm drinking about 5 of these a day, which is probably a problem, and then a couple of Red Bulls.
Caffeine that's helping drive his latest business venture, a coffee shop with a nod to Dan's troubled past.
Left home very young for about 10 years, was in and out of incarceration in different places in California. And then really my first son, Damien, was born when I was in prison in Vacaville Penitentiary, and that was really the beginning of me turning my life around.
After serving time for gun possession and car theft,
over here,
Dan was able to find success in corporate restaurants.
My background started after being in prison. I went to work for Applebee's restaurants, ended up being a vice president of operations for them. I went to work for Rock Bottom Brewery as brand vice president. I was CEO of Illegal Pete's, and I was CEO of Chiba Hut.
But Dan says the corporate lifestyle wasn't for him, so he quit it all to try something new.
This is a fantastic roast, though. Super smooth.
At Convict Coffee, employees share the profits.
Right on, Brandon. Thanks,
and Dan is hoping he can help other former convicts open their own convict coffees.
And then they're motivated. They have skin in the game. They feel like they want to take care of the customer on a different level. And, you know, ultimately, to me, if I end up being very successful and doing well, and my employees are struggling, I don't feel like that's a success.
Hoping to create change, one cup of coffee
you're welcome.
At a time.
Right on. Thanks. Take care. Stay busy.
Well, the coffee shop also sells food and art created by people currently in prison and people trying to make it after being released from prison.
He's hoping to open 2 more shops within the next year. Certainly an excellent endeavor, and it does show, you know, no matter what your past, you have a right to try again.
Community for everyone.
Exactly. And we've still got showers and thunderstorms across the area. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing us that same line. It's kind of, again, following almost like if there was an invisible train track out there. The showers and storms following the same path from northwest to southeast. So, Joplin, you're getting the cloud cover, but you're not getting any of the rain. Very likely will not see any additional rain. But we've got this moderate to heavy rain, so Mount Vernon, Monette, east of Cassville, down through Berry and Lawrence counties, and we head back up into the Kansas side. There's 1 lightning strike, and that's been the thing, is the thunderstorm activity has been pretty limited. Now again, Skywatch Storm Tracker doesn't show cloud to cloud lightning, but nonetheless, not anything strong or severe. So southwest of Fort Scott, stretching up to the northeast of Viola, so we're talking Gass, Moran, south of Garnett, and into the Burlington area, and then still moderate to heavy rainfall, Lamar, Minden Mines, just exiting Jasper and Sheldon as well. Greenfield getting ready to get in on it. Still seeing that redevelopment, and at least through about noon, could still see a few straight isolated showers or storms out there. And by noon, that will begin to clear on out, and we'll start to clear on out and warm up a bit. Well, from there, look at your forecast. News you need to know right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Fire crews from multiple stations worked overnight Saturday to extinguish a fire at the First Christian Church in Nevada. Almost 70 firefighters from 8 different departments were on the scene. Missouri State Fire Marshal, ATF, and Nevada Police determined the cause to be an incendiary fire. Further details of the fire are still being investigated. Friday night storms brought multiple reports of damage and power outages throughout our area. Thousands of residents in Benton County were left without power. Quapaw Public Schools has reported on Facebook that they will be delaying the start of school until August 26th due to the damage. Professional development days and the district open house have also been rescheduled.
Thankfully, no severe weather to contend with this morning, just some scattered showers and storms. They should be coming to an end by about noon, and then skies will gradually clear out after that. Our highs mid-upper 80s and a light east breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clear skies through the evening, mid-70s by 10. Overnight lows cool, below average, low to mid-60s with mostly clear skies. Clouds increase towards sunrise, giving us a partly cloudy first half of our Tuesday. Then they'll clear later. Temperatures remaining below normal, though, for the next few days in the mid to upper 80s, and then the summer heat starts to return. We'll head back into the low to mid 90s as we head into the upcoming weekend.
Well, one lucky ball boy performed a rare pair of catches. Last Wednesday during a game between the Washington Wild Things and the Joliet Slammers game, Slammers ball boy Benji catches 2 HR balls in the stands in the top of the first inning.
Now these teams play in the Frontier League, which is one of the 7 independent baseball leagues across North America. Yeah, how about that?
How about that?
That's impressive. He's not even, you know,
betcha,
like on the team, you know, but he's part of the team, just not on the field.
Yeah, great effort there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.